Hi, this is Lee at IELTS, and in this video we'll be looking at IELTS reading, focusing on list of headings. Your job in this task is to match the main meaning of the paragraph to a list of headings. This task, the questions always come before the reading passage. The paragraphs or sections are labelled A, B, C, D, etc. The headings are labelled in Roman numerals, little I, 2 I's, 3 I's, IV, etc. There are always more headings than paragraphs or sections. And sometimes an example is done for you, but you still need to read through this paragraph though. Having an understanding of the layout of the test is highly beneficial to us when we're answering list of heading types questions. So we can see that we've got the end of reading passage 1 and the last 3 questions, which are true, false, not given questions. We've finished doing this reading passage. We're now moving on to the reading passage 2, where we see we've got our list of headings questions first. It's very important to remember that these are always going to be before the reading passage that you're going to be answering the questions to. So, the list of headings questions are going to be talking about reading passage 2 and nothing to do with reading passage 1. This is very important to remember. But looking at the list of headings, we can see that we have 9 headings in a box, and underneath that we have our questions 14 to 18. And we can see that they're labelled Section A, Section B, Section D, Section E, and Section F. And we can see that Section E has already been completed for us as an example. However, you still need to read this paragraph. Looking at our reading passage, we can see that we've got a heading and we've got our passages or our paragraphs labelled as A, B, C, etc. We need to match these headings to the paragraphs. There are a number of different ways that list of heading types questions can be done. You can either do them first or you can do them last. I would suggest trying both strategies and finding out which one works best for you. So we'll have a look at answering the questions first. Before we start thinking about reading the passage, we're going to skim read the headings to have a general idea of the passage. We're not going to be looking for any specific detail. We just want to know what our main topic and theme is going to be. The first step we're going to use is to skim read the first paragraph for the general idea. Then we'll take a good look at the headings, so we're going to be reading these in detail this time. We're going to eliminate all the obviously incorrect answers. Then we'll mark some potentially correct answers. We will go back to the first paragraph and read that paragraph in detail. We will choose an answer from the list of headings. We've eliminated the completely wrong ones. We have a very good idea of what is in the paragraph now, and we're going to match the heading. As soon as you've got your answer, write it directly on the answer sheet. You do not have time to write it on your question sheet and then transfer it at the end. It is not the listening test. When you finish that, repeat the 7 steps for the second paragraph. Some of the advantages of doing list of headings questions first are, it reduces your preparation time. This is because your preparation time is included in your time that you're going to be answering your questions. Usually your preparation time is separate. You spend between 5 to 7 minutes preparing your text, which includes looking at any headings, any subheadings, skimming and scanning, looking at the question, and then trying to find an answer, and finding your answer in 1 minute. However, our preparation time is included in the time to answer here, which means in this case we might have 2 minutes per question rather than 1 minute per question. Another advantage is that you get a better understanding of what the whole reading passage is about before you go to answer the other questions. And also, you can potentially find the answers to other questions more quickly. The potential is increased because you already know what is in there, so you know which part of the reading text to go to find your answers. Now, turning to answering the questions last, you prepare your text as normal and do the other questions first. So do all your skimming, scanning, underlining keywords, etc. When you've finished answering the questions, come back and skim read the first paragraph just to refresh your memory. Eliminate all the obviously incorrect answers. Mark the potential answers. Read the paragraph in depth to make sure you understand it clearly. read the headings and choose your answer, and then write it directly on the answer sheet. Repeat this for the other paragraphs as well. Also, steps 2 to 4 can be eliminated. The reason for this is that we've already done our pre-reading strategy, we've already answered the other questions, we have a good idea of what's in the reading passage anyway, so we can skip over this if we feel confident with our answer. Some of the advantages doing this type of question last are that you can read the topic sentence of the paragraph to find the correct answer. This is because the topic sentence usually has an overview of what the paragraph is going to be about, and really we're matching the main meaning of the paragraph with the list of headings. You also have a much better understanding of the whole reading passage before you have to start looking for answers. This means that your potential to find answers more quickly has been increased. This is because you've done all your pre-reading tasks, you've skimmed, you've scanned, you've underlined keywords, you've had a look at the other questions, you've had to read some of the passage in detail to find the answers to the other questions. Therefore, you can eliminate some of the steps in your strategy and reduce your overall reading time. A couple of further ideas to keep in mind when you're doing this test are to check the headings after completion of the task. Do they make logical sense in that order? So when you're finished matching the headings, read the headings in the order you've put them in. If they make logical sense, your answers are probably correct, so you can move on to the next set of questions. However, if they don't make logical sense, you might want to go back and double check your answers before moving on. One thing you can do when you're practicing is to read and order headings logically before reading the passage. After you skim read the passage, do they match the order? This gets you into training to recognizing main ideas and for logically staging of a text. Now, when we come to the headings, the heading with the most general idea could be the heading for the paragraph. Our first paragraph in a reading passage is more than likely going to give us a general overview of what the passage is going to be about. So the most general idea could be a match for that. Furthermore, if a heading has specific information, it is probably not going to be used. This is because the headings are a summary of the paragraph. We're not trying to match specific information, we're trying to match the general meaning of the passage. And now, the final word. The questions are always located before the reading passage. Please pay particular attention to this and remember it. You do not want to be confused on test day. Now, they can be either done first or last in a section. This is entirely up to you which strategy you use. However, I would suggest trying both of them and finding out which one does work best for you. Always read the example paragraph too if there is one. This is because some of the answers may be in the next set of questions that you read. So always read this. Just because the answer is given doesn't mean you don't need to read it. Now, there are always more headings than paragraphs. So if you don't use all the headings, don't panic, you're not supposed to. However, you can only use one heading once only. Remember, it's a summary of the section or the paragraph in the passage. Also remember that you are matching the main meaning of the paragraph, not the key vocabulary. The key vocabulary is only there to help you find the section of the passage that you need to read in detail. Also, write your answers directly on the answer sheet, not in the question booklet. This is because you do not have time to transfer your answers at the end of the test. You get 10 minutes for listening only to transfer your answers, not in the reading. Good luck. This has been Lee at IELTS. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.